So we're back with the second episode of our video series focused on helping CPOs and their teams grapple with the critical issues that they're facing in these challenging times. Our goal here is to pose a few ideas, perspectives, and questions that you should be asking as you navigate your way through this pandemic and its human and economic implications. Today's video focuses on the number one issue of the day, risk, which each and every one of us is grappling with in our own way. Calculating your risk exposure is paramount. There's multiple levels to this, and the specifics of what you do depends on whether you're being proactive or reactive. Given that we're all pretty much focused on the reactive right now, let's focus on the tangible steps that you should have or need to be putting in place right now. The first thing that you need to know is who your most critical suppliers are. These aren't simply your biggest spend suppliers, but also bottleneck suppliers. Those organizations with smaller spend bases, but that play an essential role in your supply chain. In a manufacturing context, this could be a custom manufactured component, such as a valve, for example, that's a low dollar item in the overall context, but is essential to the entire product. Without it, the line stops. So it's important to have this total view. With this solid view of suppliers, you need then an assessment of the risk that they represent. And the first part of that is understanding where their production plants or service and delivery centers are located. What's happened to the spread of the disease in those areas? What's happened to the government response? How has that been? And then what have been the subsequent ramifications on business as usual? What are the expectations going forward and how will that change? A related element to consider here is that beyond the supplier's production centers, who are their tier ones and their tier twos and so forth? And what follow-on impacts does that have or will that have on their business? In other words, it's about the ecosystem and not just the company. You then need a multi-pronged assessment of the risk that supplier represents. This is, of course, part supply continuity related, i.e., are they able to maintain and continue supply in the face of the virus implications in their country or region? How they are or are not able to serve you and with what lead times, BCP-related issues, etc., directly raises the risk score. But we also need a sense of the follow-on implications for their business health. How solid or well-capitalized are they? What are their production economics? How is that structured and what are the related implications? Who are their other customers and where do you stand in that pecking order? What are the total cost ramifications and what are the lead time implications? These suppliers need to be assessed, scored, measured, and monitored regularly so that you can stay on top of these risk levels both now and in the near to medium term. I know that's all pretty high level, but hopefully that resonates and provides some level of insight into the kinds of steps and questions that need to be asked at this critical time. For more detail, or if you have questions, please drop us a note. All right, that's it for this video. Be sure to check out our special COVID-19 site, which has plenty of data and analysis for you to access. You might be watching this video on the site itself, but if you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube, you can access it via the link above or below, depending on where you are. Stay safe.